This is becoming quite a habit.
Yeah, I
I
was thinking that too.
I always have to say this, that, it's hard enough to get to the top 10. I would have said it's impossible to make the top 3 4 times, but it's not impossible to make the top 3 4 times. And if you look at the 500 plus books that we've done in this competition, no one has even come close to what you've done. I mean, you don't suck.
Really?
Yeah.
So glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly what I needed to hear.
there you go. Yeah. I mean, so I have to say that we're going to start this like we always do, but I want you to give me your name, the name of your entry, and where you're talking to us from.
Andy Baldwin. I write under the initials A.W. Baldwin, and I'm here in Lander, Wyoming, a small town, Wyoming, and we're talking about the Antidote.
The Antidote. Um, yeah, as I think you know, in our competition, we, the judges, don't know who we're reading until we're done. So I don't know if this is a compliment or an insult, but I did not know this book was yours.
Well, it's not a relic book.
Yes,
It's
it's
not
not
a
a relic book.
story about relic. Yeah.
So those people who haven't read the don't understand what we're talking about, check out the AWC website and you'll see Andy's interviews, now his fourth, and you'll see, all his books up there as well. So that's quite a feat. When you decide to write, what made you say, I think I'll do a novel? Because at the age of 3 or 4 or 5, however old you were, you didn't say, I'm going to write, a 300-page book. When did you decide to write something big?
Well, that's why I put it at 57. It took me, well, it took me a while to write the first one, Desert Guardian, partly because of just everything else. I was working and a lot of hours, really in the harness and just all the obligations that all of us have to deal with. But and it being your first one, it takes more time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so it took me over 3 years really to write it.
So you did say you wanted to try something different. You didn't want to do another relic novel, but why did you choose this subject?
Well, um, climate change is a big concern to me. It ought to be to everybody. And I had learned that there's actually been some research done or being done on the question of whether or not uh, the uh, carbon capacity to sequester carbon by plants can be improved through genetic engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And that intrigues me. It's still something out there. It might develop actually
Yep.
into something. And I thought, well, what better than something like that with, a character who's got the seeds, the magic beans, and what would happen if people found out somebody had these magic seeds?
Do you place action in at specific times, or do you just let the characters in the story dictate that?
I think the action is more tied to an outline,
Mm,
and then how the characters react to the challenge of each scene or set of chapters or whatever it is, whether it's in the library or where it is a little more organic because sometimes the characters surprise you. You think to
mm.
yourself, wait, they wouldn't do it this way. They do it this other way. And then how does that change the relationship and how would that happen? And so that's a little more of the dynamic part.
What's next? What are you going to do next? You got another book in you, or you're done? You're going to go fly fishing? What?
I might go flying. I don't fly fish.
Oh,
I never learned how, although it sounds like it might be enjoyable.
mm,
Um, well, I just finished another relic um, that's coming out later this month that I'm putting out, and after that, I think I want to go back again and do something different.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, not another relic novel.
It's always wonderful to interview you. I always have a good time, and um, I wish you luck again this year.
Thank you, Peter. Always fun to talk with you on or off the recording. And to this day, the nicest, you have given me the nicest, coolest book blurb I've ever had. And it was on on the Raptor Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
You said, you will be holding your heart and your breath at the same time.
That was a hell of a
Beautifully,
book. That was a hell of a book.
beautifully written. That was the best blurb I've ever gotten. So thank you for that.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for such a wonderful book and a wonderful whole bunch of books.
Where did you go right after the convention?
Went to see my son in was just south of Salt Lake,
South.
and his wife and 3 kids. So
Cool. How did he
Yeah.
respond when you said, "Yeah, I won"?
he said, "How did you do that without a map in the front of the book?" Because he does all the maps in my relic books.
Ah,
So then I had to tell him the sad news, which is that's why I won. There was no map.
yeah. Well, I have
So
to say this. How did you feel when you were sitting there and here it comes? Dirk's walking up there. You've been through this before. Dirk's
Yeah.
walking up there. And what was going through your head?
I discovered that my palms were sweaty, and I felt pretty calm, but I like thought, wait, my palms are sweaty. I've still got some sort of involuntary response nervousness going on here.
What was Gina's reaction? Your wife, Gina, was there. She's been through this with you a couple times. What was her reaction?
She was just really excited for me, and I don't think it registered with her immediately either, because afterwards she said it took her a few seconds and then she realized she needed to jump up and start filming it. So she jumped up and moved from the table to get a better view, and was standing there with the camera in front of her face. And I was up there, and I thanked Dirk, and then I thanked Gina, and I'm like, where'd she go? Because I couldn't even see her face because her camera was right in front of her.
You had 4 tries at this, right?
Yeah.
2 things. One, how you can continue to pump out great books. And number 2, it shows how tough this competition is, that someone as talented as you, it was 4 tries. But I don't think it takes away from your talent. I think it says this is a tough competition and things are so close. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't know about the talent part. I just but I feel really lucky because, I mean, 4 tries. I feel like I've really gotten to know you in a much better way than if I had just been there one off and that was it. And all the other folks and Jeff and I've got all these, and Dirk, and I've got all these other co-competitors along the way. I'm still in touch with Landon and Jake
Yeah.
and Ryan and people, and so it's just broadened and deepened my experience with the competition itself. So I feel really lucky to go 4 times. It's really a good deal.
Just one last question. There's someone sitting there at home watching this interview, and they're saying, well, why should I bother entering the competition? So give us your commercial.
My commercial for the competition.
Yeah.
There isn't a better one on the planet. You should go for it. You don't have anything to lose. You have everything to win in terms of, because this isn't just, a bunch of nameless, faceless judges in the background giving you a little seal when you're done, perhaps. These are, real judges and real people who give you real feedback, which will help you improve, and you will meet people who will help you improve and broaden your view of writing and publishing and all of that stuff. And you don't get that anywhere else than the Adventure Writers Competition. Just, you don't. So it's the one to engage in.
That was pretty good. You must be a
All
writer.
right. No, it's just off my cuff. I'm sorry. I should have written out some, you could have helped me with.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to give you any hints on this interview. Well, again, Andrew Baldwin, thank you for taking the time to interview with us. We'll be in touch. Lots more still coming from the competition for you. And we'll see you in the judges panel next year.
That sounds great.